Like a great story, let's start with mine, the great boss. So it started during the pandemic when everything shut down, right? The world shut down. At the time, I was already working at home doing freelance. I have two young boys, and then the school stops, the client stops, even my event stops. So there's no income and there's a lot of uncertainty. And I think I'm not alone in there, but being my optimistic self, I just used that time affluence that I found to upskill. So I took all the courses I could, the free digital marketing, that's my background, marketing manager for global brands and hotel space. I also started doing yoga and meditation until a friend told me about Sarah, and she said you can find ABV courses there. And I stumbled upon the science of well-being. Since then, I've been doing daily yoga and meditation. Passion of mine led me to where I am today. So I got the certification from Yale, the science of well-being, and then I also delved into teaching yoga and meditation. I got my 100 hour, then 200, and then 300. Before I know it, I have 1,000 hours of certification on yoga, meditation, yoga therapy, and Ayurveda, which I'm now taking. It helped me to manage what's happening around us at that time. It also brought me to a lot of opportunities and collaborations, which is happening today. So during the pandemic, I did online retreats, put together a passion project called Happy Body, Mind, and Soul. Talk about happiness, wellness, all of this topic. And it just clicked. This is something that I'm really good at and I enjoy doing it. So I continue doing the virtual retreats until it's time for the world to open up again. And I said, okay, I'm going to do in-person meeting because that's also my world. I book meetings and events and I love going to events like this because it's just not the same as the virtual world. Going back to the great pause, it brought us the great resignation. And I think what spotlighted then was the issue on mental health. So we all are home and a lot of uncertainties. A lot of people are feeling the anxiety and depression. Also, at the workplace, people start thinking, I don't want to work in places that doesn't support my mental health or that doesn't give me joy. Toxic workplaces are not going to do it anymore. People started looking for other opportunities. There's a lot of resignation, hence it's called the great resignation. But workplaces take notice and people started to acknowledge, yeah, work from home is a thing. Back then it's not welcome yet, but I'm glad that because of pandemic, everybody's doing it. And then you have hybrid. These are just some of the things that happened because of pandemic in terms of the workplace. Let's look at the state of the workplace right now based on some research and data. Are you aware that 300 billion is the cost of, poor performance, absenteeism, and legal and medical costs? This is the data from the American Institute of Stress. Another one, 3 in 4 have experienced burnout. And today we will discuss this in one of our sessions. Burnout is really costing us a lot, and that's related to stress, right? The 300 billion. But I want to highlight really also Gen Z and the millennial. I'm an older millennial, so I could relate to this. I feel like that's where my personal story come in. Like I am no longer tolerating bosses who don't support, my mental well-being or being toxic in the workplace. I think a lot of feel that way as well. So they're looking for workplaces that support a work-life balance. Another data here is low team engagement cost higher turnover rate compared to those that has high engaged teams. That's almost half, right? If you're a manager or if you're the owner, turnover is is costly because you have to rehire, you have to retrain. It's better to retain what you have and also to take care and nurture them, the talent. Another one out of 4 employees felt their organization cared about their well-being. 25%. That's really low. But it also tells us that there's a huge opportunity for us to start doing workplace well-being. So we can bring that number up. Okay, so this study is from WTC, a global company, and they study risks, capital, investment. And they did a survey with 82 countries spanning 3,600 companies with a total of 18 million employees. So this is a very wide data. And you can see also there's a global, Asia Pacific, Central, Latin, and North America. And the last one is Europe, right? So what do you notice on number one? Anyone? Shout out. Mental health in the US is number one. So I think, do you all agree that that is the main issue here? But also culture plays it. I'm from Asia Pacific too. So I feel like we don't talk a lot about mental health there. Not as much as we talk about it here.
It's not even number two for anyone else.
Yeah, right. So here's an NPS, Net Promoter Score. So in the survey, they asked, will you recommend your company to your friends, right? 41% said no, while 26% said yes, and 33, they don't care, with a Net Promoter Score of negative 50. Here's another one. This shows the gap between the employer's perspective and the employee. Employers said they are prioritizing emotional well-being, physical employee experience, social and financial. On the other side of the coin, it's actually the financial. So it's upside down. So you can see that they're not seeing eye to eye, employee and employer. So there's a huge gap and also an opportunity for us to improve and talk about these things so we can all meet in the middle and because see there's a negative 37 there and a plus 25 there. So we want that number to be more even. The question that we're asked is, what are you doing now? So again, just prioritizing the programs, creating cohesive messaging so people know what's happening in the workplace because it doesn't matter if you have all these programs but people don't know what's happening and develop mental health strategy. Collaboration is there as well, which is also related to the messaging, so communication is key, and then integrating workplace safety so we can avoid those hazards or injuries. All right, so the future is not doom at all. We have some great numbers as well to show you about the future of the workplace. I call the first one challenges and this one are the solution. So we are here today to talk about wellness in the workplace, right? So I think this data supports that. And this one article from the Virgin Pulse, they're one of the giants in terms of promoting wellness in the workplace. So basically, they're saying that it's high time to create a position called the chief well-being officer, and this could be HR as well, who's in charge of the well-being. What they do is basically create the program, look at the environment in the workplace, and see what are the challenges, all those data that we saw earlier, and close the gap. It's very important to know really what the employers are thinking and feeling in order to create a program that matches their needs and the goals of the company as well. So the chief well-being officer is kind of like a bridge on the employee and the employee side. That's how I see it. More data, which is employees enrolled in wellness programs report that high job satisfaction. I think it's no brainer because they're more involved, they're more feeling taken care of, being seen. They feel like they belong, right? And the company sees them and they care for them. 70%, that's high. 89% of workers at companies that support well-being are more likely to recommend their company as a good place to work. They, wouldn't you like your employees to vote you as the best place to work? So do a wellness program. Over 80% of employees who are engaged in their wellness say that they enjoy work. Another one here, 81% reported they will be looking for workplaces that take care of their mental health in the future. And as you saw in the global research, this matches that, right? The survey matches the reality of what people are thinking. in summary, I posted this on LinkedIn 11 reasons why you should prioritize well being at work. There are a lot of reasons, but these are just some of them. High employee engagement, stress reduction. So that means we cut down on the stress related costs that we saw earlier, and then better relationship between colleagues and between boss and employees as well. High satisfaction means better performance, right? That's what we're after. The feeling of belonging is very important. Feeling of being connected and supported, right? Teamwork, team cohesion and collaboration, that's huge. Imagine what that can do to your workplace. And then overall well-being is improved, better mood, people are happy, the workplace is happy, there's less absenteeism, reduce healthcare costs because less people are getting sick, and this directly impacts the bottom line. Okay, you saw the question earlier of what they are doing now, and this is just what are they going to do 3 years from now. And it's about building a roadmap. So it's no longer a silo. It's not just one program. It's overall, right? It's the mental, the emotional, the financial, which we saw is the main concern of the employees. Because I think we can all agree that if we have financial problem, our mental health is affected, and then it trickle down. So another one is focus on managers because it's a top-down approach. The leader has to be involved and say, okay, we're going to do a well-being program, but it's important on how you can communicate that on all levels. And the focus on managers here is basically saying that we need ambassadors and advocates within the company to promote our program. And then here is we saw that mental health is a priority already as it is. So it's just double downing on that and then personalizing the tool. So it's no longer a one size fits all. It's going to be different programs for different things or maybe for a specific industry as well. So it's very personalized. Yeah, the financial is there because that's the top concern. And then measure. It's important that when you create a program, you just measure it so you know when to adjust, when to recalibrate, what to add, what to delete. Last data here is what are they going to do better? What are your organization's top priorities? So you can see communication is on very top 56%. Creating a culture is very important, which we'll talk about today in the panel. DEI, I know this is a hot topic, and we're also going to talk about this in the panel a little bit. And employee sensing, really talking to the people that actually are stakeholders of the program. That brings me to our program for today at the summit. We have amazing panelists, Sarah, Rebecca, and India, and Colby joining me to discuss the strategies on how to integrate wellness in the workplace and some success stories, strategies, and practical tools that you can implement in your work. And then we have amazing speakers who will be talking about anything and everything about the holistic approach that I mentioned about. So again, it starts from the top, leadership, right? You have to build connection and belonging in the workplace so people feel safe and taken care of and secured. And so in return, they give back to you. We have to talk about energy and movement and mindfulness and how that plays in the mental health and the overall relationship in the workplace. And then we'll talk about stress management, also the emotional side of it. And then my favorite, the science of well-being. And then we'll talk about the business and what's the ROI. So that's the whole program for today. And we will be experiencing the holistic approach that we talk about. We're going to be learning a lot today. Then we will be moving our bodies and doing some exercises that you can to be grounded, be more creative, and absorb the things that we'll be learning today. Then community, yeah, this is a safe space for us to learn and to grow and connect with each other. And the goal of this when we started this is to create a movement. So I'm hoping that we can all continue the conversation from here and help each other achieve our goals. So to wrap up, since I started with the great pause, what's the great learning? I just want to bring it back to what I do here at Happy Me Yoga. My mission is to be the go-to resource for wellness experiences like this. So I do half-day retreats, destination retreats, workshop, uh, personalize that experience in the workplace, and also look at how it impacts the bottom line, create a ripple effect in our community, in our homes, and in our workplace. So thank you so much for joining me today.